Congress considers legislation to create the National LGBTQ History Museum in D.C. Representative Mark Pocan, Democrat of Wisconsin, has introduced legislation that would set up the process to create a National Museum of American LGBTQ+ history and culture, potentially as an official site within the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C. Pocan, one of 9 openly gay members of the U.S. House of Representatives and co-chair of the LGBTQ Equality Caucus, said in a statement over the weekend that the measures would preserve LGBTQ+ history, quote, "As our community faces unprecedented attacks and attempts to erase our history," unquote. The first bill, according to a press release, would create a 8-member commission of individuals with expertise in museum planning or LGBTQ+ research and culture to look into the viability of establishing such a facility in the nation's capital. The commission would be charged with recommending a plan of action for the museum, including fundraising and submitting to Congress a plan for the construction of the museum. If the Smithsonian were to accept the museum for LGBTQ+ history and culture, it would be similar to other museums under its jurisdiction, such as the minority populations in the United States, including the National Museum of African American Museum of History and Culture and the National Museum of the American Indian. The second bill would be eligible for consideration by Congress after the commission completes its work and issues its recommendations. This is a tremendous moment, right? We're talking so much about schools not recognizing our History Month, right? Mm-hmm. And at this time, it's
which is right now, right?
Which is October,
mm-hmm. Right?
Yes. And it's this moment in time when we say, well, let's forego sort of the institutions of education and let's actually take the greatest institution of education in the country, which is the Smithsonian.
It's exciting news from the standpoint. First, it's incredibly obvious in this story, Orlando, that you just did, that the Smithsonian has these other museums that are dedicated to minority interest in the United States. And then once you realize that, there's absolutely no reason why Congress wouldn't establish this. The one disappointing thing here, we have to give shout outs to the museum in San Francisco. We have to give shout out to the developing museum that's going to open in New York. And of course, we've got to give shout out to the granddaddy of all museums, the Stonewall National Museum here in Fort Lauderdale. But this makes perfect sense. The only disappointing thing is, as it goes through this process, I probably won't be alive by the time we get to it.
No, don't say that. Come on.
We're hoping in fact, I would love to be in it as I depart.
Manifest it. I'm going to manifest it.
Right. LGBTQ+ news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ+ community.